Picture this. It is a beautiful Saturday afternoon in July. The sun is warm on your shoulders, the kids are running ahead on the trail, and your dog is bounding through the grass like they own the world. You are smiling. This is exactly what summer is supposed to feel like. And then it happens. You look down for just 1 second. And in that 1 second, your dog has their nose deep in a puddle on the edge of the path, lapping it up like it is the most delicious thing they have ever tasted. You pull them away. You think nothing of it. You keep walking. 3 days later, your dog won't eat. They are trembling. Their eyes are glassy and distant. You rush them to the emergency vet at 11 o'clock at night, and the doctor comes back with a look on their face that you will never forget. I have been in the exam room for that conversation more times than I can count. And I need you to hear me right now. That puddle is not just dirty water. Depending on where you live, what season it is, and what that puddle is sitting next to, it can contain 5 completely invisible threats that can destroy your dog's kidneys, collapse their nervous system, or infect your entire household in a matter of days. And the worst part? Most of the danger has no color, no smell, and no taste. Your dog has absolutely no way of knowing it is there. But after today, you will. In this video, I am going to walk you through every single one of those hidden threats, exactly what they look like, what the warning signs are, and precisely what you need to do before and after every summer walk to protect your dog from the inside out. I have also developed what I call the Summer Shield Protocol. It is a simple, 3-step routine using ingredients you already have at home that will build a natural defense layer inside your dog's body. We are going to cover everything. And I saved the most important threat for last. It is the one responsible for more unreported dog illnesses in the summer than anything else on this list, and it is also the only one that can silently spread to your children through your dog without your dog ever showing a single symptom. That reveal is coming in Chapter 4, and you are going to want to stay for it. Hi everyone, I am Dr. Nathan Reed, your neighborhood veterinarian. Welcome back to the channel. I have been practicing holistic and integrative veterinary medicine for over 15 years. And summer is without question the season that fills my emergency clinic the fastest. We associate this time of year with fun, with freedom, with long walks in open parks. And I love all of that for you and your dogs. But I also know what comes in through my clinic doors in July and August. And I want to arm you with everything you need before it happens to your family. Before we dive in, if you are new here and you care about giving your dog the safest, healthiest life possible using natural solutions that actually work, please hit that subscribe button right now. We post a new deep dive every single week and I do not want you to miss a single one. Hit subscribe and let us get into this. Let us start at the very beginning. What is actually in a summer puddle? Rain rolls off parking lots, trails, backyards, and roads. It carries everything it touches. It pools in low spots and just sits there under the summer heat. And that is where the problems begin. The first hidden threat inside summer puddles is one of the most dangerous bacteria in all of small animal medicine. It is called Leptospira, and it causes a disease called leptospirosis. Here is the biology of it, and I want you to really understand this because most owners completely dismiss it. Leptospira is a spiral-shaped bacteria that lives in the urine of wild animals. Raccoons, rats, possums, deer, and even squirrels. When an infected animal urinates near a puddle, stream, or wet soil, the bacteria does not just die. In warm, moist conditions, Leptospira can survive in standing water for weeks. Sometimes months. Think about every park trail you have walked this summer. Think about the retention ponds, the puddles in the parking lot, the shallow stream your dog splashed through. Wild animals have been using that same ground as a bathroom all week. And that puddle sitting next to the picnic bench? It is a perfectly warm bacterial soup. When a dog drinks from contaminated water, the Leptospira enters through the mouth, nose, and even through tiny cuts in their paw pads. It travels directly into the bloodstream and makes a beeline for 2 targets: the kidneys and the liver. Here is why this is so insidious. I had a patient named Cooper, a 4-year-old golden retriever, absolutely stunning dog. His owner brought him in on a Tuesday morning saying he seemed a little tired and had thrown up once the night before. She thought maybe he had eaten something bad at the dog park over the weekend. Completely understandable assumption. By Thursday, Cooper's kidneys were in acute failure. The early signs of leptospirosis look exactly like a stomach bug. Mild lethargy. A little vomiting. Not wanting to eat. By the time owners realize this is serious, organ damage has already begun. Here is your warning checklist. In the days after your dog drinks from any outdoor water source, watch for decreased urination or conversely extremely frequent, urgent urination. Watch for yellowing of the gums or the whites of the eyes. That is jaundice and it means the liver is affected. Watch for sudden refusal to eat combined with shivering. If you see those three things together after a puddle exposure, that is not a wait-and-see situation. That is an emergency call to your vet that same day. One more critical note. Leptospira is a zoonotic disease, which means it can spread from your dog to you. If your dog is diagnosed with lepto and you have been cleaning up their urine with your bare hands, please tell your own doctor. This is not something to take lightly. But as scary as leptospira is, it is not the fastest killer on this list. Not even close. The second threat I need to talk about is something that looks beautiful and harmless. And that is exactly why it kills dogs. You have probably seen it. A pond or a puddle that has a thick, greenish, almost paint-like coating on the surface. Sometimes it looks like pea soup. Sometimes it has an oily shimmer with blooms of bright teal or blue-green color. On a sunny summer day it can actually look kind of pretty. That is a cyanobacteria bloom, also known as blue-green algae. And it is one of the most rapidly lethal natural toxins your dog can encounter. Here is the biology. Cyanobacteria are ancient microorganisms that thrive in warm, slow-moving, nutrient-rich water during the summer months. When conditions are right, they multiply into massive colonies called blooms. Many of these colonies produce cyanotoxins. And when a dog drinks contaminated water, or even licks their paws after walking through it, those toxins absorb into the bloodstream with frightening speed. The terrifying part of cyanotoxin poisoning is how fast it moves. We are not talking about days. In severe cases, a dog can go from drinking contaminated water to complete neurological collapse within 15 to 30 minutes. Symptoms include violent muscle tremors, drooling, difficulty breathing, and seizures. If the dose is high enough, liver failure can occur within hours. I need you to memorize what this looks like. Any standing water with a thick green, blue-green, or rust-colored film on the surface. Any water that looks foamy or scummy around the edges in warm weather. Any water near golf courses, farms, or fertilized lawns, because fertilizer runoff feeds these blooms. And critically, any body of water where you see dead fish or dead birds nearby. That is nature's warning sign. If you see any of these signs, do not let your dog near that water. Do not even let them walk through the shallows. If they have already had contact, rinse their paws and mouth with clean water immediately and call your vet. Now, lepto and blue-green algae are things most pet owners have at least heard about in passing. But the next threat is one that almost nobody talks about. And it is probably the most widespread danger on every suburban walk you take this summer. Puddles on sidewalks, in parking lots, and in neighborhood parks do not just contain natural biological hazards. They contain a chemical cocktail that drains off of every surface it touches. Think about what gets applied to lawns, parks, and sports fields in the summer. Herbicides. Pesticides. Fungicides. When it rains, all of that runs off and collects in the lowest point available. That puddle next to the curb on your block? It is a concentrated pool of everything that was sprayed on every lawn and sidewalk uphill from it. And because your dog is low to the ground, walks barefoot, and instinctively investigates puddles with their nose and mouth, they receive a disproportionately high exposure compared to humans. There is a real and sobering body of research linking lawn chemical exposure in dogs to bladder cancer, specifically a cancer called transitional cell carcinoma. Scottish Terriers, Shetland Sheepdogs, and Beagles carry a known genetic predisposition, but any dog with repeated high exposure is at elevated risk. Here are your high-risk environments. Avoid letting your dog drink from puddles in freshly mowed or chemically treated parks. Stay away from standing water near athletic fields, golf courses, and road medians. After any walk where your dog has been on treated grass, wipe their paws before they lick them clean. A simple damp cloth takes 5 seconds and removes chemical residue before it transfers to their mouth. Now, I promised you the most important threat was coming in Chapter 4. And here it is. This one is invisible, odorless, and tasteless. The water looks perfectly clean. Your dog shows absolutely no signs of illness. And yet, inside that puddle, microscopic parasites called Giardia and Cryptosporidium are waiting. Giardia is a single-celled parasite that encysts itself and can survive in cold, outdoor water for months. It is extraordinarily common. Studies suggest that up to 30% of dogs tested in shelters and dog parks carry Giardia at any given time, and a significant portion of those dogs show no symptoms at all. When your dog drinks contaminated water and picks up Giardia, the cysts travel to the small intestine, where they hatch and attach to the intestinal lining. The classic symptom is intermittent, greasy, foul-smelling diarrhea. But here is what makes this so deceptive. Some dogs, especially young, healthy adults, can carry Giardia and shed cysts in their stool without ever getting visibly sick. And here is the part that changes everything for families with children. Giardia is zoonotic. Certain strains of Giardia that dogs carry can infect humans. If your dog is shedding cysts and a child in your household is picking up toys from the floor, or your dog licks a child's face and hands, and those hands go near a mouth, transmission is possible. Cryptosporidium follows almost the same pattern. Same source, same transmission, same risk to young children, elderly family members, and anyone who is immunocompromised. I have spoken with parents in my clinic who treated their child for a severe gastrointestinal illness, went through the full medical workup, and never knew that the family dog had brought the parasite home from a puddle in the park 2 weeks prior. Size, my friends, this is why I made this video. Here is your warning sign checklist for Giardia and Crypto. Intermittent soft or liquid stool that comes and goes over several weeks. A coat that looks suddenly dull or greasy despite a good diet. Mild weight loss without a change in appetite. If you see these signs after a summer outing, please ask your vet for a specific fecal antigen test. A standard fecal float often misses Giardia. You need to ask specifically. Now, you know the 5 threats. And I promised you a solution. The Summer Shield Protocol has 3 steps, and every single one of them you can start today with things you already have in your home or can pick up at any grocery store. Step 1 is what I call the gut armor layer. The first and most powerful thing you can do to protect your dog from both bacterial and parasitic threats is to maintain a healthy, robust gut microbiome. A dog whose gut is populated with strong, diverse beneficial bacteria is significantly more resistant to infection. The good bacteria physically crowd out the bad actors and support the immune response that fights off pathogens before they establish themselves. My top recommendation is plain, unsweetened kefir. A tablespoon mixed right into their dinner for a medium-sized dog. The live probiotics in kefir colonize the gut lining and create what I like to think of as a living shield. If you prefer a dairy-free option, a high-quality canine probiotic powder from your vet will do exactly the same job. Just sprinkle it over the bowl. Now, a massive veterinary warning. When you go to the grocery store to pick up kefir or plain yogurt for this purpose, you must flip the container around and read every ingredient on the label. You are specifically looking for one ingredient that you must never give your dog. Xylitol. Some brands also list this as birch sugar. It is an artificial sweetener used in low-sugar and diet dairy products. Even a very small amount of xylitol is enough to cause catastrophic liver failure in dogs. It must be 100% plain, unsweetened, with 0 artificial sweeteners. Read the label every time, even for brands you have bought before, because manufacturers change formulations. I would also add a small pinch of turmeric mixed with a tiny drop of coconut oil to their bowl 3 times a week. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, is a powerful natural anti-inflammatory. It supports liver and kidney function, which are exactly the organs that come under attack from leptospira and chemical runoff exposure. The coconut oil is the delivery mechanism. Curcumin is fat-soluble, meaning it needs fat to absorb properly into the bloodstream. Step 2 of the Summer Shield Protocol is the water station rule. This is the simplest change you can make, and it directly eliminates most of the risk from all 5 threats. Before any walk in a park, trail, or neighborhood where your dog might encounter puddles, bring clean water with you. A collapsible travel bowl fits in any bag. It takes 30 seconds to pull out and offer your dog a drink from your clean bottle. The reason puddle drinking happens is almost always because the dog is thirsty and opportunistic. If they have access to fresh water before and during the walk, the temptation to drink from a puddle drops dramatically. You are not fighting their instinct. You are redirecting it. I also recommend doing a 5-second visual scan every time you stop at any water source. Ask yourself, does this water have any green or blue-green film on the surface? Is there any foam or scum around the edges? Is this next to a lawn, a road, a parking lot, or an agricultural area? If yes to any of these, move on. No amount of curiosity is worth the risk. And when you get home from any walk, before your dog settles in on the couch, do a quick paw wipe. Take a damp cloth and wipe between each toe and around each paw pad. This removes chemical residue and any Giardia cysts that may be sitting on the surface of the paw before your dog licks them clean. It takes 20 seconds, and it is one of the highest impact protective habits you can build this summer. Step 3 is what I call the 48-hour watch. Whenever your dog has had potential exposure, meaning they drank from a puddle before you could stop them, or they ran through a pond or a slow-moving stream, you enter a 48-hour observation window. You are watching for 3 specific changes. First, any sudden shift in energy level. Not just tired after a long hike. I mean a dog that seems to want nothing to do with their normal activities by the following morning. Second, any change in urination habits. Too frequent, too little, or if the urine appears dark or orange-tinged. That is a red flag for kidney involvement. Third, any change in stool within the next week or 2. Remember, Giardia can take a week or more to produce symptoms. Keep a simple note on your phone. Date of exposure. What they were exposed to. Any symptoms and when they started. This information is incredibly valuable when you call your vet, and it helps them make the right diagnosis faster. My friends, let us take a step back and look at everything we have covered today. We started with a dog at a puddle on a summer afternoon. A moment that seems completely harmless. Now you know that inside that water there could be leptospira bacteria carried from raccoon urine, surviving for weeks in warm, wet soil. There could be cyanotoxins from a blue-green algae bloom that can collapse a dog's nervous system in under 30 minutes. There could be herbicide and pesticide runoff from treated lawns accumulating in the lowest point of your neighborhood. And there could be Giardia or Cryptosporidium, invisible parasites that can make your dog chronically ill and, in certain cases, spread to the children in your home. And now you have the Summer Shield Protocol. Gut armor layer with daily kefir and turmeric to build internal defenses. The water station rule to eliminate exposure before it happens. And the 48-hour watch to catch any problems early when they are still completely treatable. We started with a dog in danger. Now look at what you have built. A protocol. A plan. A protected summer. Here is my challenge to you today. Pick just one of these 3 steps and start it this week. Maybe you grab a pack of plain kefir at the store tomorrow. Maybe you throw a travel water bowl in your bag before your next walk. 1 step is all it takes to begin. If this video gave you the information you needed to keep your dog safe this summer, please do me a favor and hit the like button right now. It takes 1 second, and it tells the platform that this kind of real, honest veterinary information deserves to reach more families. Every like helps protect another dog. And if you are not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Every single week I publish a new deep dive into your dog's health, nutrition, and behavior using science-backed holistic approaches. I do not want you to miss any of it. Hit subscribe so you are always protected with the latest information. Now I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment right down below and tell me which of these 5 threats surprised you the most. Or tell me, has your dog ever gotten sick after drinking from a puddle on a walk? Share your story. Our community reads every single comment, and the experiences you share help other pet parents catch things early. You might literally save someone else's dog by telling your story. I am Dr. Nathan Reed. Thank you so much for being the kind of pet parent who takes the time to learn, to prepare, and to protect. Your dog does not know why they feel safe with you. But they do. And that is because of exactly this. Give your sweet dog a gentle scratch behind the ears from Dr. Nathan tonight. I will see you in the next one.